is Miss Hill, and I'm going to show you how to factor a trinomial by busting the b. A trinomial has three terms. A is sometimes 1 and A is sometimes not 1. A refers to the coefficient in front of the x squared term. It doesn't matter what A is because busting the b will always work. When factoring, we are trying to get expressions in their primest state. The busting the b expression comes from taking the b term and rewriting it into two different terms, such that you have 4 terms, and then you are able to factor by grouping, which is a topic you should have already covered. Let's look at an example. This is an example of a trinomial where a is not equal to 1. The example, 2x squared minus x minus 6, is a trinomial and there are 3 terms, thus making it a trinomial. The first step in busting the b is to identify the coefficients in front of the x squared term, the linear term, and the constant. Notice a is in front of the x squared term, b is in front of the linear term, and the constant is written last. The color coding above shows coefficients and which part of the trinomial they go with. Pink with the x squared term, thus 2. Green with the linear term, thus -1, and blue with the constant, thus -6. In order to bust the b, create an x on your paper. At the top of the x, you will use a and c and multiply them together. For this example, you multiply 2 and -6, and this would be -12. Please take negatives and positives into account throughout the problem. In the bottom of the x, you will place the coefficient of b. In this case, it will be -1. Now, we must think about two numbers that multiply to give us -12 and add to give us -1. Thus, the two signs shown in the x in the areas. The factors that multiply to give us 12 are 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. Once you have those, let us think about the sum of those factors as well as the signs. In order to get a -12, when multiplying, you will need one of the factors to be negative. So, the 3 and the 4 combination will work. The 4 has to be negative because when added together, the sum has to be -1. Once you have those two numbers, you will rewrite your equation by busting the b term into two new terms. Copy the first term, rewrite the b term as -4x and 3x, and copy the last term. Now that you have busted the b into two terms, the expression has 4 terms. Divide the 4-term expression down the middle. Look at the left side. What is the greatest common factor of this side? The GCF is 2x, and when you factor it out, you end up with x minus 2. Do the same for the right side. The GCF is 3. When you factor out 3, you get x minus 2. If what you have in parentheses is the same for both sides, then you did something right. Copy the parentheses down one time, and for the other factor, you take the two GCFs and create a binomial expression with the two terms as displayed above using pink and blue. Therefore, 2x squared minus x minus 6 factors into 2x plus 3 times x minus 2. You have just completed the factoring of a trinomial by using the busting the b method.